So, um, this week was a pretty tough week because um, my father's passing or 1 year anniversary passing is May 1st of last year. So I kind of felt that building up and coming in um, very strongly. So it was inevitable. Inevitable. Um, Strangely enough, on Wednesday, I found out a fellow coworker passed away due to the same illness my father uh, passed away as passed away from. So it was you know kidney failure from what I was told. Um, um, yeah, he was a really great guy. And when I learned that he passed away, it struck a chord. It really hit home because my father pretty much passed away from the same thing, which is extremely painful. Not so much his passing, but the fact that I'm so confused about my love for both my parents. My they weren't the greatest. There's a lot of emotional abuse. Um, and I think what hurts the most is the fact that what hurts the most is how I'm so confused about you know how they always treated me growing up in comparison to my sister. Um, and how I'm having to suffer from the results of you know childhood abuse basically, and how I'm still dealing with it as a 34-year-old man. You know, um, God, this is really difficult. um, I'm actually doing a little bit better from the way I felt yesterday, and a little bit of from this morning. Um, yeah, I can't even think straight, to be honest with you. And um, yeah, someone told me at work that all my insecurities, along with the PTSD I learned from my therapist Wednesday, which is labeled as complex trauma, severe, in such a severe form that all my insecurities and all that is destroying my life and everything around my life. Um, and it's not easy talking about. It's pretty nerve-wracking, very aggravating to deal with. I probably wouldn't feel so confused about my father's passing if I was brought up in a loving and fair upbringing. Um, I do find it to be mostly embarrassing, most of all, because I know a lot of people outside probably watching this, or they hear me at work, or they hear me you know wherever, and they don't understand what mental illness is, or what PTSD is, and how it truly affects an individual. um it's you're spending every second, or at least me, I'm spending every second of my life living with a wall up, me constantly being on guard, me lashing out at some of the most dumbest things because it triggers. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't believe in it. A lot of people just think it's a cry for attention or whatever, which it's definitely not a cry for attention. And believe me, people suffering from PTSD would probably agree that it's very embarrassing and it's not the type of attention anyone would want to seek. Um, it's a I almost can't even really put it in words. Because it's such a, you know, dealing with a severe form of PTSD is such a, very powerful uh, thing. Um, it's very debilitating. I've had, coworkers ask me, should you just go on disability? Are you even able to work? Are you able to function in the real world? And it's embarrassing, you know. It's um, it's extremely disheartening. It's extremely hindering. Um, it's just extremely I don't know. It's very raw. It's hard to explain how PTSD just takes over almost every single aspect of my life. Um, my father, excuse me, my father when he passed away, I cried here and there. It was a very weird feeling. My emotions were up and down and like a roller coaster. Um, to the point where I was questioning the validity of my own emotions. You know, I was asking myself, do I even have the right to cry? Because I wasn't really all that close with him. I always distanced myself from really all my family, especially my mom and my dad and my sister, because she destroyed the whole family pretty much. She, oh my God, did so many damn things that I can't even really, I can't even really fit into this segment because it would go on forever to go into very explicit detail about everything she's done. Um, how painful it is to watch my parents baby and um, let my sister get away with murder, you know, and being a spoiled, rotten little brat and getting away with her throwing a fit and getting a you know, having a tantrum and all that stuff, and still getting her way. And then when I stepped out of line, I'm not gonna lie, you know, I wasn't a saint. You know, I had my, you know, my moments where I would be a brat or, you know, throw a fit or something. But when I would do it, the punishment was much more severe, you know, from beatings to, you know, emotional trauma of you know, being made fun of, being neglected, being compared to my sister who wasn't a good role model. You know, other kids in the neighborhood would even say, you know, wow, John, you get treated like shit. And she gets treated like royalty whenever she screws your parents over. And, you know, it was a well-known fact that my sister would always beat the shit out of me and you know, all that. One thing they probably didn't realize that I never told anybody was how she tried forcing me to have sex with her. Um, 2 consecutive Sundays in a row back in 96, 97. You know, she claimed she wanted to play house. Um, and it just, you know, I agreed, and me not thinking it was going to lead to what she had in mind um, was very scarring. I never told my parents because at that point, I believed that she wouldn't get in trouble, or it would end up destroying the whole family beyond repair. You know, and this is me as a little kid back in 96, not knowing what the hell to do. You know, the only thing I know was to just suffer in silence. You know, something I've always been good at. And, you know, come to find it's extremely dangerous. Um, so, uh, I mean, it goes far beyond, you know, constantly being bullied at school, for being gay, constantly being harassed and bullied at home by my sister, and then, not having parents to serve, you know, justice in the household, family justice in the household, the right punishment and all that never existed. Um, I never had a break really. It was, bullied at school and then bullied at home. So, one coworker of mine did tell me, he said, "You're a survivor. Um, you're a survivor, having to deal with all of that and still make it out alive and not do anything stupid like committing suicide or um, um, committing murder or whatever, anything that could possibly happen." Um, yeah, I'm sorry, I really didn't want this video to be about this, but unfortunately, earlier this week, due to the chain of events, unfortunate events that happened, caused a dominoes effect, and one thing led to another, and now here I am venting out and leaking. Um, um, it's, yes, I understand this is extremely personal stuff that I'm putting out, and um, I'm just maybe hoping I could reach out to people who, I suffer from the same exact thing. You know, I do want to make a side note that I do apologize from my last video. If I got some constructive feedback from a few friends, and they've told me there was a lot of static in the last video, which I don't know what caused that. I'm wondering if it's the mic or I'm not quite sure what caused it. The hideous watermark across the entire video. So I downloaded some new programs last weekend, and I'm going to be playing around with some tonight. I even broke out a more, I guess, professional microphone here. I remember I saved it I bought it back in like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Excuse me. But yeah, hopefully as time goes on and I learn and I perfect my videos and audio and all that, it'll be really good. But yeah, this has been a really shitty week. A really shitty Wednesday, especially Wednesday. God, especially Wednesday. Having a post-traumatic stress disorder episode And then an hour later, coming to find out, a coworker that I really enjoyed seeing, passed away from the same thing my father passed away of. Just really took me under. I even took Thursday and today off, which today's Friday. And I don't know, it just really sunk my ship. And I'm still in pieces right now, trying to pick up the pieces all over again and start all over. Um, my oh God, I forgot my train of thought. Is that um, God, I lost my train of thought here. Oh man. I've got so much going on in my mind right now. It's unbelievable. I just pray that I can fix everything before I destroy friendships and all that. Because this is not easy at all. Aside from it being extremely embarrassing, having to deal with all this and having people judge you and your character and question who you really are, um, it's extremely terrifying day by day. It's extremely terrifying. Very terrifying. Aside from it being extremely embarrassing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I wish there was something else I could talk about right now, but I can't focus right now. I'm fearing the most when I go back into work Monday, if I can even get out of bed. I'm fearing, friendships I've destroyed, because I'm afraid to trust people. Constantly pushing people away because that's all I know how to do. At this point, it's all automatic. It's all very automatic. It's there's no switch to flick on or off. Which, a lot of people who don't understand PTSD or any other kind of mental illness, it's there's no switch to just turn off and everything's fine and dandy. I just really wish it was that simple. If that was the case, we wouldn't need psychologists and psychiatrists and, all these other specialists who deal with the mind. I wouldn't be here talking about it. I'd be talking about something else, or definitely be talking about something else instead of, my trials and turbulations. And I'm very surprised I've made it this far. I'm 34 years old, and let me tell you, it's a motherfucker. It's extremely terrifying. It's extremely difficult on a everyday basis. I'm trying not to cry here. But yeah, May 1st, the sad part about it is May 1st, my father passed away. I didn't find out from a complete stranger till 9 days after his official passing. So, you know, yeah. Well, hopefully I'll see better days of, happier moments to talk about or something. Um, to talk about, um, yeah. Um, yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm just out of it right now. I'm completely out of it.